Welcome to Luxury Ascension, a space devoted to redefining wealth, worth, and well-being from the inside out. Today, we're stepping into the high standards blueprint, what high standards actually are, how they shape your identity, and how they quietly redesign your entire life. Most people think high standards are about demanding more from life. They're wrong. High standards are about refusing less from yourself. That's where the blueprint begins. Not with money, not with luxury, not with status, with a decision. A decision that certain things no longer get access to your life. Certain behaviors, certain environments, certain conversations, certain versions of yourself. Because the truth is this, your life is not built by your goals. Your life is built by your standards. Goals are aspirations. Standards are requirements. Anyone can set a goal. Few people raise their standards. That's why so many people live trapped between what they want and what they tolerate. They want peace, but tolerate chaos. They want wealth, but tolerate financial habits that keep them stuck. They want respect, but tolerate disrespect disguised as familiarity. They want expansion, but tolerate environments that reward smallness. And then they wonder why life never changes. Because life responds to standards, not wishes, not vision boards, not temporary motivation. Standards. Every area of your life is currently reflecting what you have decided is acceptable. Every relationship, every habit, every financial reality, every environment, every emotional pattern. Somewhere, consciously or unconsciously, you approved it. Not because you wanted it, because you tolerated it. The blueprint is always operating. The question is whether you're designing it intentionally or living inside a design you inherited. Most people inherited standards. Standards around money, standards around love, standards around success, standards around what they believed they deserved. Some inherited scarcity, some inherited struggle, some inherited the belief that exhaustion was proof of worthiness. Some inherited the idea that luxury belonged to other people. And without realizing it, they spent years defending those standards as reality. But inherited standards are not permanent standards. They can be upgraded. The moment awareness enters the room, choice becomes available. And that is where transformation begins. Because high standards are not arrogance. They are self-respect in action. They are the visible expression of an invisible decision. The decision that your life deserves intention. People with low standards spend years deciding. People with high standards decide once, then build around the decision. The person who has decided they no longer tolerate chaos doesn't renegotiate every situation. The standard already exists. The person who has decided they no longer abandon themselves for approval doesn't revisit the debate every week. The standard already exists. The blueprint is clear, and clarity is one of the highest forms of luxury. Most people think luxury is abundance. Luxury is actually clarity, knowing who you are, knowing what you value, knowing what aligns, knowing what doesn't. That certainty changes everything. You move differently. You choose differently. You recover faster from mistakes because your standards pull you back into alignment. High standards are not about perfection. Perfection is fear disguised as ambition. High standards are about consistency. They are about repeatedly choosing the version of your life that reflects your highest values, even when it would be easier not to, especially when it would be easier not to, because standards reveal themselves during inconvenience. Anyone can have standards when conditions are ideal. Real standards show up when temptation arrives, when comfort calls, when shortcuts appear, when old habits invite you back. That is where the blueprint becomes real. Every elevated life is built through these invisible moments. The moment you choose discipline over distraction, the moment you choose growth over familiarity, the moment you choose alignment over approval. Nobody applauds those moments, but they are the moments that create everything. This is where frequency enters the conversation. People talk about frequency as if it is mysterious, but frequency is often the result of standards. The standard you hold for your thoughts creates your emotional frequency. The standard you hold for your environment creates your energetic frequency. The standard you hold for your relationships creates your relational frequency. The standard you hold for yourself creates your entire life. Frequency follows standards, not the other way around. That's why some people are constantly trying to feel elevated while continuing to tolerate things that lower them. The blueprint doesn't work that way. You cannot continuously entertain chaos and expect peace to become your baseline. You cannot continuously betray your own boundaries and expect confidence to grow. You cannot continuously settle and expect expansion. Life mirrors what you repeatedly permit. That is why standards are power. Not because they make you superior, because they make you intentional. And intentional people become difficult to manipulate, difficult to distract, difficult to derail. Not because they are rigid, because they are clear. There is a calmness that enters a person's life when their standards become non-negotiable. The endless internal debates disappear. The constant emotional bargaining ends. The uncertainty begins dissolving. And suddenly life becomes simpler. Not easier, simpler. Because every decision is measured against the blueprint. Does this align or does it not? Does this elevate or does it diminish? Does this support the future or sabotage it? The blueprint answers quickly, and the more consistently you honor it, the stronger your self-trust becomes. Self-trust is one of the greatest luxuries available to a human being. To know that when you make a commitment to yourself, you keep it. To know that your word means something. To know that your standards don't disappear when circumstances change. That kind of self-trust creates confidence that cannot be manufactured. Because confidence is not created through affirmation. It is created through evidence. Evidence that you can rely on yourself. Evidence that you honor your own standards. Evidence that you no longer negotiate with the life you're trying to build. And eventually something remarkable happens. The standards that once felt difficult become natural. The boundaries that once felt uncomfortable become obvious. The discipline that once felt demanding becomes identity. You stop trying to become the person. You become the person. That's when the blueprint is complete. Not when your bank account reaches a certain number. Not when the world validates your progress. Not when everyone understands your choices. The blueprint is complete the moment your external life begins reflecting the internal standards you chose to uphold. That is real elevation. That is real luxury. Not excess, not performance, not appearances, but a life designed with such intention that everything within it reflects your highest level of self-respect. Because at the end of the day, your future is not determined by what you hope for. It is determined by what you require. And the moment you raise what you require from yourself, your environment, your relationships, your habits, and your life, everything begins to rise to meet you. That is the high standards blueprint. And once you understand it, you'll never look at success the same way again. If this message sharpened your perspective, leave a comment with the word standard and name the one area you're no longer tolerating less in. If you're ready to live from non-negotiable standards, subscribe and stay close. And if you know someone who's been tolerating what they've outgrown, send this to them. Then take 10 seconds for yourself and choose one standard you're upgrading this week and commit to it privately. Let's redefine luxury, one intentional choice at a time. Until next time, peace and love.